Yeah, that seems to me that might be
Halder taking the cut through. Here we go. He's going to close in on Silva. He took the cut through on the corkscrew last time too. Is he going to do that again here?
Let's see, he's awful close to Silva. Silva goes a little bit deep. He is going to cut right through, comes in front of him, but he's a little bit out of sorts. Car manages to get itself back together, and Nico Silva tries to cut back on him, gives him another little hello, sneaks inside, down into turn 10, and makes a pass. I can't remember the last time I saw a pass into that turn.
It's going to take a brave move to the four chicanes here. No side-by-side yet from Sanchez. Trangarade will have to hold on through a tight section. White flag coming to checkered flag now. Sanchez needs a big corner exit here. Hard through the corner towards the final chicane. A slide for Trangarade. He hits the turtles. Sanchez with the pull. Side by side, they all slide. Trangarade wins it. My goodness, what happened?
Is that going to be enough to counteract anything? That's a battle for the lead as well. Frisha trying around the outside now. He's going to try to hold it out, but again, Poli Partanen able to hold it out. Oh my goodness.
And in the back, you can just see that is Juan Costa looking out of place, trying to get on the inside of Jukka Tolonen as they come around side by side and just shoved out to the grass. Thomas Simon has struck. He struck again, the second time in two corners. On the inside, going around the Lesbo 1 into Lesbo 2. Jukka Tolonen and Thomas Simon going at it. As we jump back to the car number 66 in ninth position, that is going to be Steve Way, looking to make the move on Alexander Wilfred on the outside, making it nice and tidy. Hold on to your hats, come on. Don't do it now, gentlemen. It's still a bit too early. Oh, on the inside, still holding. So he's hugging the inside curve as much as he can. Steve Dwyer on the last corner of the last lap makes a move and overtakes to take 8th position.
I think he has as well, but here comes the move for Philip Hammer. It's going to be down to the inside, going through the first corner, done and dusted. Lucetta tries to fight him back a little bit, but it's a little bit too late. But no, Lucetta's going to have the inside coming up the rise to Druids.
And in through Druids goes the slides. Philip Hammer's not able to make it effective on the outside, but on the inside.
Detroit and Zolder provided a rough welcome into the first season of 2022 for our drivers. Imola does not bode well as a continuation of that theme, but the competitors do have the lessons from the first 2 weeks to perhaps up their caution. Will they be able to see a cleaner race today? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch round 3 of the iRacing Kamel GT series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Zach Johnson, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Much like last week, Imola comes with a slew of chicanes over the lap. Let's head to our track guide to find out a little bit more about it. Welcome to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, but most race fans know this place as simply Imola. This circuit in the northern part of Italy has seen some of the highest highs and lowest lows in motorsports history. The various tragedies that have marred the track left no choice but to alter it in the name of safety. While it originally featured mostly fast, sweeping corners, its modern 3-mile or 5-kilometer version is punctuated by tricky chicanes and incredibly technical turns. iRacing includes the Grand Prix layout and a moto version, which adds one more chicane to the front stretch. Tamburello is perhaps the most notorious of the corners for claiming the life of multi-time world champion Ayrton Senna when it was still a single breathtaking turn. Now the Triple Apexer not only offers potential passing opportunities, but catches out drivers quite frequently. While heavy braking zones are everywhere, because few places allow the cars to get up to speed, overtaking is generally seen as an exercise in frustration. As if to almost counteract this quality, the track itself is situated in a gorgeous public park and sends the drivers through the beautifully calming Italian countryside. It also includes a fair bit of elevation change in which the track is split between the higher up back half and the lower first portion. It's no wonder that this place still proves popular with drivers and fans in spite of its difficulties in history. The Tifosi keep returning each and every time the sound of engines roar among the trees, and who can blame them? Well, Ryan, we already saw the difficulties of trying to navigate Detroit and then Zolder, but here at Imola, at least it's slightly more wide open, but I have a feeling these Kamel cars on this track is still going to be quite tricky. And as we take a look at the track guide for this one, it doesn't have all that many turns. Of the 17, many of them are chicanes, of course, but there's not many straights for them to try and overtake with the traffic. So that is going to prove difficult for them. And then the one long one that they do have down the front stretch is, well, not that straight in the first place, and that sometimes causes miscommunications. We've seen that, of course, many times in this series, and hopefully there won't be too many cases of drivers accidentally coming across one another, because those are high-speed accidents when it does happen. So as we take a look at the championship after our first two rounds, Ardo Iamaki on 2 wins. Naturally, he is going to be well ahead of Antti Lepisto by about 10 points currently. And then you've got Laust Olsen not too far behind Antti, with Martin Krejcik then a little bit behind in Ferran Grau. A very close fight for that 5th position. We'll see if that changes around, especially if we wind up getting some more chaos today. As we take a look at the GTOs as well. Well, Jukka Leskala and Esko Letiniemi, each on a win, are only 2 points apart from one another. Now, Ian Haycox has been pretty consistent. Mark Olay is very close behind him as well, with Carlos Fonseca making that a 3-way fight for the 3rd spot in the GTO standings. So those drivers, of course, all have all to play for this early in the season, with drop weeks still to come. Ryan, as for today's event, we might have new viewers that have not seen this series before. What do we have in store for today's race?
Yep, so today's race is going to be race 3 of, well, this is basically the 4th round of the 12-round season, with the race being 40 minutes in length. And the setup, as always, is open setup, so you're free to make any adjustments. But the downside of this race and multi-class racing is you can sometimes have issues and get crashed out. So if anything like that happens, you've got no fast repair or no spare car. So yeah, it's pretty much you've just got to be on your feet and be careful. And yeah, the drive-through penalty will occur at 17x or over, and you will be disqualified from the race if you get to 25x. So around this tight track such as Imola, these drivers are going to have to be very, very careful.
No doubt, considering there's 50 drivers out there today, I suspect there will be at least a little bit of chaos throughout, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong. We're waiting on the first lap times to come in here, and then we will go racing after this qualifying session is over. Alex Gal is back once again. Let's see what he can do with the number 1 on the car. Well, he's certainly pushing as he almost loses the rear coming out of Ravazza. And the French driver crosses the line. Good enough for a 27.7. That is provisional pole for him. And Hovdal is only 800ths behind him. So as they continue on, we're still looking for the first of our drivers in the GTOs to come across. Looks like Robert Plumley able to put himself into 8th. Laust Olsen going to give us a view today, is able to capture 5th on his first lap at a 28.9. Still about 1.2 seconds behind our pole sitter right now. And here we go. We got a few coming across the line for the GTOs. Jukka Leskala holding the provisional pole. Philip Lake trying to challenge him, but he is a massive 0.3 back on that first lap.
Yeah, quite surprised by that. I thought Philip would have been a lot closer, but still, Leskola continuing his form at the moment and doing a good job in qualifying, leading the GTOs at the moment in qualifying. But yeah, the likes of Ian Haycox and that are up in the top 5 or top 6 at the moment. So good to see the likes of them up there at the moment.
And it looks like Gal is coming around for his second lap in the number 1. Well, that one looked a little bit cleaner off the line. He's already got the pole. Can he put it a bigger distance away from all of his rivals as he comes across? It is a 27.713. Barely improved that time, but he's now about a tenth and some change over Matthias Hovdal. So let's see if others can maybe try and challenge him. Lepisto's not on his second lap. Looks like Jungbluth unable to go quicker that time by. And did Hovdal have a mistake on his second lap? Because he's very early on this second lap. I'm checking to see. Yeah, he's come from the pit lane. So this one will not count for the number 5, and he is not able to challenge.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't want around the Imola as well, as getting an off track, because yeah, it's basically, well, from my experience, you basically want to try and nail the first lap if possible. Otherwise, because sometimes the second lap is not always the quickest.
Certainly not. And let's see, watching. Oh, and Joseph Mudrack's going to have to start from the back as he unfortunately found himself with an off as we take a look at the 22 machine cycling through. This is Snyder coming down, giving us another onboard here today through Ravazza. He sits in 10th position with a 29.3, so just about halfway up the field. We're missing a number of the GTPs with a lap time here. So let's see. The 22 does improve by about 0.3, but it'll only get him 1 spot. Still, that is 1 better than he was before, into 9th. So we follow, looks like, I believe this is Esposito, and the number 49 coming through. Looks like he's already taken his 2 laps, so he's done. He'll do no better than 15th. Looks like most of our GTPs have taken both of their laps. I'm waiting on Andre Schumacher in the 45 to set his second time. He's got about a minute left, so it's going to be awful close for him. And I think he might be our last driver able to set a time.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get round to complete the lap, but it might be a bit tight. But at the moment, with just under 50 seconds remaining, I think he might just be able to make it. But if he doesn't complete a lap, he'll be starting at the rear of the GTO class, and around here, that's not what you want.
It's about 30 seconds left. Looks like he'll just sneak across in time here coming out of Ravazza 2. Gets on the throttle. Andre, usually not too far down the order, will definitely want this one to count. Hopefully it's a clean one as he crosses the line. It was a 1:42.7 that gets him on the board, and that is good enough for 14th. Looking through, yes, nobody else is able to set a time from here. It's time to go through our starting order, and Alex Gal has put it on the pole. Hovdal is going to try and challenge him there, starting from the outside of the front row. Antti Lepisto, good enough for 3rd, with our championship leader Arto Iamaki starting in 4th. Laust Olsen, P5 for him, is followed by Ferran Grau in 6th, and it's Fabian Jungbluth in 7th. To his outside, Thomas Ferrari will be in 8th, Isaac Snyder starting 9th, and Heitor Sintes Galindo rounding out your top 10. Then the next slide has Gianluca Gabbiani in 11th, Martin Krajcik in 12th, and Ben Lafter in P13. Robert Plumley, good enough for 14th today. Mark Esposito will be in the P15 spot, flanked by Doug Cloud. You've got Leonardo Bau in 17th. Last one to set a time in the prototypes was Antonio Rice in the 18. Then you've got Mudrack, Porter, Lamas, Phillips, Ho, Peak, Arribas, and Demuth, all failing to set a time starting at the back of their fields. Ryan?
Yep, in the GTO class, it's an all-finished front row with Yuka Leskola taking the pole position, with Vili Rola in 2nd, with Philip Blake from Dirty Talk Racing in 3rd. And then Esco Letaniemi in 4th, with Franco Scuri in 5th. 6th will be Marco Kela. 7th will be Thomas Bartioli, Ian Haycox, Nicholas Mucanos, Javier Del Olmo, JB Hamill-Smith, Mark Ollie, Andre Schumacher, Harry Weir, and Devin Donhead, Hideki Koivisto, Fabio Schau, Marco Chupola, Oren Laskin, Israel Alonso, Pablo Loves, Carlos Fonseca, and rounding out the GTO grid in last place is Michael Haynes.
Let's take a look at our onboards here today, as we got a couple for us. Ben Laughter, our first one, who's going to be starting from 13th on the grid in the GTPs. He's switched over, and he's very cool. He's got a VR set and allowing us to even see exactly what he sees there. And then, of course, we saw Isaac Snyder there a moment ago. He is going to be starting from the 9th position in the GTPs. And finally, we've got Laust Olsen also giving us a perspective here once again. He's going to be our highest starter with the onboards from 5th place once again in the prototype class. Just a straight traditional front view of him that we're going to be watching. It's a short pace lap here. So already the leaders are coming out of Ravazza, and Alex Gal will be given control of the field here in a moment. There goes the Porsche pace car, waiting patiently, looking for the green flag, and there goes Gal. He's on it, and the green flag is out. Very good jump over Hovdal, who's already under threat from Lepisto. He could try and challenge around the outside, coming up into Tamburello. Does he have enough here? He's going to try and break as late as possible, but nothing doing behind him. They all file in. So far, so good in that group. Let's go to the GTOs.
Yeah, it's been a good start from Yuko Lesko heading down to Terminal. The car is behind.
Oh no, already we got drivers off. Looks like Mukanos is one of them. And that is Esco Letaniemi, last round's winner. Looks like Mukanos going to be able to return to the track, but he's going to have a massive slowdown penalty after that one. In fact, he's going off course to try and serve it appears. Sintez Galindo and Kratrick also off course through Tosa. Not sure if that was related to one another, but I'll take a wild stab that it potentially was. In the meantime, Alex Gal still leads the GTPs. Hovdal second there, with Leskala leading Lake in the GTOs.
Yeah, and apart from that, up at the front of the GTOs, it was pretty much a clean start from the likes of Leskala, Rola, and Philip Lake, but it all just seemed to kick off in the mid-pack, heading down to Tamburello, and it's just pretty much everyone trying to fight it out, or pretty much trying to battle each other into turn one, and unfortunately it just caused a bit of a Constantino effect.
Tim Phillips and Nick Mukanos have exited into pit lane, so Mukanos must have not gotten away without damage, as he had to take a tow. As we watch the top two come across the line, Gal now with a handy 0.7 of a second over Matthias Hovdal. Lepisto still sitting in the third, and Iamaki has not been able to improve. Looks like we've got a replay. Let's see which incident this is for on the first lap. We've got someone, it was Tim Phillips coming out and going slow in front of the GTOs. What in the world was he doing?
That was just, yeah. I'm a bit. My mind is just literally exploding looking at that. I don't know why you would come out the pitch and then just wait on the racing line. That's just absurd.
Oh, his engine blew as he exited pit lane. Well, again, I don't know what. I'm not sure why he didn't just exit almost immediately, pull off into the grass, get out of the way. This is just incredibly strange. I've never seen something like that before in any of the series I've covered, and it certainly caused woes for many a driver. The 25 also looked like him getting caught up in that. That was Hideki Koivisto on that one. As we watch the top two behind them, Ardo Iamaki suddenly has some trouble behind, and that is Farron Grau in the number 34, who is quickly approaching. In fact, he's going to try and challenge, but a little bit of a defense from Ardo will deny him.
Yeah, it was like, oh, someone's went wide into Tamburello and went on the grass. Try to find out who that was. That was the number 9 car, I believe. I'm trying to find out who that is.
That's Jungbluth in that number 9. He loses 1 position. Tomas Ferreira is able to get through, and now Isaac Snyder is close behind him. Let's check in with a view with Isaac. He's being chased by Gabbiani as well. So it's now a battle for 7th place still, but with a couple positions swapped around. Isaac now sporting a slightly different livery here for today's race. He's recently put a new one together, but he goes a little wide down through Rockman and he slides off the course. And that is going to be big damage. Not sure if he'll be able to get it going. He's going to try.
Yeah, and that's the trouble with these Nissan GTP cars as well. You try and get on the power, especially when the car's bouncing, it can get unsettled. And as Isaac found out, just unfortunately lost it and they got sideways and basically half spun.
Oh, man, disappointing there for him as he comes down into Ravazza. Okay, what is happening here? His hands are not on the wheel, it looks like. Or at least one isn't. This is very strange. Okay, we'll have to ask him what is going on here, because he's clearly only driving one-handed right now, if at all. But in the meantime, let's check in on our GTOs, because it's been a minute since we looked at them. And Leskala is still leading the way, 1.3 seconds ahead of Villarola, another longtime veteran of this series, returning once again, but able to distance himself. First real battle we've got, it looks like, Ryan, is between Franco Scurri in the 16 and Marco Kayla in the 3.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. Franco Scurri had a great start as well amid that, amongst the mayhem that ensued, and he's had a great start from basically in the mid pack up into 3rd place, but under pressure from Marco Kayla at the moment as they head through Veernerve and heading up to Toes at the moment. Franco doing a good job, but under pressure and not too far behind these guys as well. You've got the Dirty Torque driver of Philip Blake closing in as well.
Blake must have lost out on that start. I'm not sure if he got involved in the tangle with the GTP, but he's only been able to recover to 5th. Meanwhile, Marco Kayla has got a very good run coming out of Piratella. It's hard to pass into Aqua Minerale, though, so I doubt we'll see a move into here. Has to wait patiently. Franco Scurri, a little bit wide at the apex, and a great exit here, Ryan. I almost wonder if Kayla might try something, but he starts to fall back once again.
Yeah, Kayla just fell back ever so slightly, and I think Scurri's made a mistake through the chicane. Can Kayla take the opportunity and pounce? Yes, he can.
It's going to have to go through. Well, he does get the inside, and it looks like he is fully passed. Nicely done by Marco Kayla. A little bit of tire tracks off around the outside there. I'm not sure who went through the gravel coming out of Ravazza as we come back to some of our prototypes now. Through the Alta chicane, Hovdal giving chase on our leader, Alex Gallen. They have caught up to the lap traffic at this point. Having to weave around Pablo Loves, and he's able to get by. In fact, it'll be a little bit before they get up to Hideki Koivisto up next, but they've also got Isaac Snyder returning to the track, it seems. So he did have to come in to take some repairs. And very quickly approaching both Koivisto and Laskin. This is a battle for position, and Snyder sneaks through there. Oren Laskin goes a little bit wide. That's going to be a spot for Koivisto just as our leaders sneak off through the right-hand side.
Yep, and this is where the leaders have to be very careful. It's all well and good trying to or wanting to get by as quickly as possible. Oh, it looks like someone's had an off.
Yeah. This is Phil Lake. Is this another problem for him? Is he struggling with some damage? Don't think so. Actually, he had a very similar incident. We might want to replay between him and Marco Caleb. Both of them went off in almost the exact same way in completely separate slides through Aqua Minerale. Some strange things afoot in today's race. Both of them eventually finding their way back onto the track. Here's Kayla's incident after we watched. That was Phil Lake first. Oh, he took a little bit of the inside curb, caught the AstroTurf on the outside, as did Phil Lake, and both of them using the four-wheel drive to good effect.
Absolutely, as they back up at the front as well. I'm still keeping an eye on the GTP lead battle as well. Alex Gal getting held up ever so slightly lapping one of the GTO cars.
There was contact between Hovdal and Saul just now. Matthias was trying to work his way through there and unfortunately had to hip check the GTO car off the course. Hopefully he didn't get damage from that. You can see a little bit of an off there in the background for Fabio in the 21 for a second time. So we come back to Lars Stolsen, another one of our onboards here today, having to go the long way around Esko Letiniemi, who's still stuck way back in the order in 22nd in his group. But Jungbluth, Ferreira, and Olsen are all vying for 6th position here in the prototypes. Into Aqua Minerale once again. And Olsen just barely ahead of Tomas as they break for the Alta chicane. Oh, a little deep there for Olsen. He's slow off the corner. This is going to be an opportunity, Ryan.
Yeah, quite possibly an opportunity as they're heading down to Ravazza, and he might be able to make the move. He pulls out, shows his nose or shows that he's there, but Olsen runs wide and he spins it. Contact.
Sliding into him, and Thomas gets a big hit, but Laust Olsen gets a bigger one and shoved into the tire barrier. And I think he is going to be limping after that because that was certainly a big thunk into the wall.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate. It looked like a case of what Laust trying to get back on the power when he came back on track, and the car was bouncing around a little bit, and with these cars having the turbos as well, that it just basically bit him and unfortunately tagged another car.
I was checking in on Villarola if he had an issue, and I think the best I can find is maybe he missed a shift because it went from being about a second back from Leskala now to 2.1 seconds. So we continue to watch Olsen here. He's down to 12th from that incident, lost a number of spots. Remember, he was fighting for 6th before. Here is our leader, and now Villarola as well. He does have a little bit of damage on the car. Maybe he hit something and I just didn't see it.
Yeah, someone's coming back on track. But yeah, I was just about to say, it looked like a bit of front end damage. I don't know if that was maybe just taking too much curbs, or maybe clipped one of the curbs.
Sorry, Hovdal just went off and has given both 2nd and 3rd place away. He's fallen to 4th, and this was his own doing. Did not hit anybody, wasn't really distracted, just went too deep into Ravazza. Sorry to cut you off there, Ryan, but that's our 2nd place driver who lost multiple spots.
Yeah, that's such an easy thing to do as well around Imola, especially in a race like this when there's so many cars on track. And I think something might happen to Andre Schumacher as well, but he's still looking at the Havdal at the moment, trying to get back through the traffic, and it's an easy thing to do around here when there's so much cars and so much traffic on track. It's you can lose your concentration for a split second and make a mistake.
Andre Schumacher went back and checked. Don't need a replay, but he spun off coming out of Alta and hit the wall. And unfortunately, I think, yeah, that hurt his steering, and he was not able to get it going once again. So he's had to take a retirement. One of a number of drivers that are done early today is there's the 18 going off, and that is Mukanos with another problem. Trying to check here, see what caused that. And it looks like another case of just going a little wide through Aqua Minerale for him, able to get it going once again. After taking some repairs, he's back out on track, but unfortunately he is the last car driving in 49th overall and 24th in his class. But definitely a never say die attitude, because he is still out there rolling, seeing if he could pick something up. Based on how many incidents we've seen, Ryan, I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah, I think it's a good possibility that he will. Even if he's not doing too well in class and he's not doing well in the race in general, I think he can still keep going around and try and maybe regain some safety rating, so it's not all lost. Oh,
battle here between Laughter and Gabbiani coming into Villeneuve, but he has to give way due to the traffic, and that is going to be a huge help for Gianluca, who gets himself some distance between himself and the 11. Out of Tosa now. Finally going to be clear, but the damage is done. He's gone from less than 1/10 of a second between himself and Gianluca to now a full 1.1 seconds. Here's Ben Laughter's perspective. See, has the old school H-pattern shifter, hand furiously working through the many chicanes on this track.
Absolutely, as they head into the chicane now, and Ben's having a good race at the moment, and I always find it fascinating to watch these point of views, what people use. Do they use triples, VRs, that sort of thing? I've always found it fascinating to watch.
See him looking his way into the apex, and now onto the main straight. Yeah, you're right, he has been having a good day. Started 13th, he is up to 8th right now, and has just been picking them off bit by bit, which he has kind of admitted to us has been one of his MOs recently, trying to stay out of trouble, and he's been netting good results. Unfortunately, still looking for a Kamel GT victory on the broadcast races, but you could still have one, as I think I just saw Phil Lake took a spot from Marco Kayla, and that puts him up to 4th. That was coming into Tamburello. And next up, pretty quickly, he's already, Ryan, got Franco Scurry in his windshield.
Yeah, absolutely. He's caught Franco Scurry at a rate of knots, and Scurry right away goes defensive on the inside, and that's going to leave him open to attack, I think, from Philip Lake. And Philip Lake's got the run heading up the hill. Can he try and make the move or try and go up the inside? He's not close enough, but I think Phil Lake's next opportunity or best opportunity is heading up to the chicane if he can get a good exit, and Scurry decides actually to let him go.
Almost lets go a second position as well, almost bumping him through the corner. Kayla is right on the rear of that car. Ian Haycock's starting to join the fray too as they get lapped by Unai Lamas. And he's going to get turned. Unfortunately, it looked like Marco was not expecting him to be that slow through the chicane. Thankfully, it looks like Marco got away with it, but can't say the same for Lamas. On to the front stretch. Going to be a good slipstream for Haycox as long as he's strong off the corner.
Yeah, but it looks like Haycox has got a... I was going to say Haycox got a great run, but it looks like... not sure what Marco's doing there. I don't know if something's happened.
He doesn't have a meatball flag, and I don't... Oh, he does have a black flag, though. He hit the incident limit, and he should have had a drive-through, but for some reason came in, took a tow, and has parked it. So I don't know if he intends to return, but this is a bit of a strange development for him. Should have been able to get back out and at least try and salvage something. Speaking of which, Looks like Ian Haycock's trying to salvage good finishes in this race, as he has in the first two, as he's still working on fourth place Franco Scurry.
Ian Haycock's has closed down on the Franco Scurry quickly as well, and Scurry not as quick as some of the guys in front of him, like the likes of Philip Blake or Yuka Lesko or Billy Rolla, but still having a good race at the moment and keep holding off Ian Haycock's for the moment. But I think it's just a matter of time before Ian gets a move done, and I think Franco's maybe just thinking of the long game and just being sensible and maybe just wants to finish.
Yeah, I feel like I would at this track car combination. Ian Haycock's, by the way, if he does manage to get past into that fourth spot, it'll be his third fourth place in a row to start this season. So he does have some impetus if he likes symmetry on his finishing results, as once again having to let by Unai Alamas. He's going to get past one, and I think with the long front stretch, yeah, looks like that pink number 36 is going to get two. Well, that separates them slightly. Let's check in on our leaders actually, we've got Ben Laughter, and he's got Joseph Mudrack right behind him, and Robert Plumley, three-way fight for P8. Coming through Aqua Minerale, Robert Plumley trying to chase the pair of them as they head for the braking zone of Alta. Already halfway through this race, as we've come to expect often, Ryan, time just flies by here in the Kamel GT series.
It absolutely does, and especially around the track such as Imola. You might think it's a long track, but it's kind of short when you think about it, just because it's not as big as, say, other European tracks, say for example, Barcelona, but still, it's been a great race so far. A bit chaotic at times, but most of the time the race has been great, and yeah, this battle has been shaping up for quite some time. So it's like Mudrack's got the run and Laughter heading across the line, heading down to turn one. Is Mudrack going to try and go around the outside?
He's going to try for it. They continue to stay side by side, and it looks like he is through. Ben Laughter, no, tries to fight back, but checks up. Coming out of Tamburello, here comes Plumley. Let's see if he can try and make it too wide through another chicane, but no, not close enough. Bad exit for Ben Laughter. Defends to the inside into Tosa. This has not been a good start to the lap for Ben Laughter.
Yeah, absolutely not. He was being under attack from the Mudrack, and also Plumley's joining in as well now, and it looks like Mudrack's falling back. Laughter's falling back into the clutches of Robert Plumley.
Indeed, giving us some good fun here mid-race between these drivers, trying to keep themselves within the top 10. A little bit of a look from Plumley, but not a serious one. Trying to get past Ben Laughter. They're now going to go past Martioli, who holds off to the left-hand side, seeing them coming, and all three are through down into the braking for Ravazza. Plumley staying close. Last time, it was a big run from Mudrack that allowed him to catch up to Laughter. Let's see if he's suffering in a straight line here again for Robert Plumley. We watch off the gearbox of Ben Laughter.
Yep, and in front of them they've got GTO traffic as well, so it looks like Plumley won't be able to make the move at the moment, so Ben Laughter is car's off on the side of the track, but still this battle as well is heading up to Villeneuve, and I think it's just a matter of time before Plumley possibly gets by.
He's certainly been hounding him out through Villeneuve, though. Doesn't look like he's close enough this time. Mudrack's making good use of the open track in front of him. Well, sort of open. He's having to lap GTOs, but is doing so to great effect. And a little bit of a look to the inside. Three wide's not going to work. And unfortunately, that sends Pablo off. And Plumley actually took to the off track. I think he was having issues even before the contact there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be interesting to look at a replay to see what happened there. But Robert Plumley is so unlucky there, because he was having a great race sitting inside the top 10, but just unfortunately, just unfortunately had bad luck.
Pablo got the worst of it for sure. Got a hit to the inside unfortunately, and went off track as whoa. Somebody is going very slow with him as well. Oh, and Pablo just got hit again. Gary Ho this time in the 43 making contact. Excuse me, that wasn't Pablo before. That was Carlos Fonseca that had contact before. All right, we've got a replay ready. Let's see which incident this one is for. This is coming up into Piratello. So this is Carlos Fonseca that you see in the car that's going to make contact. Or no, this is Loves. Excuse me. So I had it right the first time. And then Fonseca had a separate incident where he's going off for. And then there's a green and white machine. And Loves had a second one where he had contact. Oh, we got tipped just a little bit, so it looks like that's what caused that one. So much happening in this one lap. And now that it looks like it has calmed down, I want to give an update on what's going on with Isaac Snyder. Now, I'm not sure if this is the case or not, but we're hearing that half of his screen is frozen with his webcam. Maybe that's why we were seeing it look like he's not driving the car. So oh, okay, we can see his hand, but half of his screen froze. Okay, that I was worried we were going to get protests filed that we had a self-driving car out there. This is absolutely strange. What a wild day it's been here in Kamel GT as we watch him continue to try and salvage something for this race. But it is still Alex Gal who leads in the prototypes. He has a monster lead, actually. It's 14 seconds over Antti Lepisto. Don't think Antti is going to make it 3 for 3 here today. And that's Iamaki that we see, or excuse me, it's Iamaki trying to make it 3 for 3. He is behind by about 3 seconds right now.
This is for the leader. Yeah, Alex Gill just had an incident with a back marker in GTP.
He did. And it was Don Peak who spun in front of him. There was contact. How much damage is on the nose of the number 1? A little bit of an apology over the radio from Don. Just went a little wide, and it started to go around on him. A little bit of a racing incident. So Gal thankfully had that monster gap I was talking about. It's down to 11.7 seconds. So he's still got plenty in his pocket. Hopefully he doesn't have damage that'll hurt his lap times, though.
Yeah, I'm just having a look from my viewing game, and it looks like he's got some slight front end damage, but it's nothing major. I think it's just some slight dents, that's it. But at the moment, he's still got a big enough gap that he doesn't need to worry. He can just, I wouldn't say relax too much, but just be careful.
We'll keep an eye on his lap times. And this is a battle for position. Esposito with Bao. And it looks like Mark Torres is going to move himself into 14th with that move. That is actually only up 1 spot from where he began this race. Leonardo now down into P15, actually up 2 from where he began this one. We checked in on the leader of the GTPs. Wonder if we could check in on the leader of the GTOs as well, who similarly got a pretty decent distance between himself and P2. And there you see Yuko Leskala coming upon Israel Alonso. I think that's the car we saw going slow before out of Aqua Minerale that I was trying to figure out. He's going to stay off to the side. It is a 7-second gap between Leskala and Villirola currently. And I think that's Isaac having another little off there. Or excuse me, not Isaac, Israel Alonso. We got a battle between Farron Grau and Joseph Mudrack as well. Looks like Farron might be able to take that position, but Mudrack's going to fight back with a great exit coming off of Ascari. He's got the inside coming down into Villeneuve, but Farron fights back and takes the position right back.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Mudrack's coming back at him up the inside into Toza, and both of them survive and not make any contact. It looks like they will, but Mudrack's got a great run up the hill, and I think Grau might just hold on to it, but Mudrack's not giving up. He's up the inside. Can he get the move done? Oh, there's a slight bit of contact, a bit of rubbing there, but again, Farron on the outside manages to hold the position for now.
Aggressive stuff.
Oh, it's around!
A mistake once again, and Aqua Minerale with a wheel off, and Farron finds himself in the kitty litter. He'll fall down to 10th. That is a promotion from Mudrack to 6th. Ben Laughter also moves into P7. Wow. This has seen a number of drivers with issues. We've lost Tim Phillips, Andre Schumacher, Justin Dimuth, Marco Kayla, all gone. Carlos Fonseca has been taking extensive repairs. Not sure if we'll see him back out on the track, but otherwise it looks like we have 45 of our 50 runners still going, which is kind of impressive considering how many issues we've witnessed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see a decent amount of runners still going, and it's been chaotic at times, but still it's good to see a great number of drivers still going at the moment. Considering that Imola in the past has always produced great racing, but it has been chaotic at times. But at the moment, it's I don't want to jinx it. It's settled down ever so slightly.
Slowed down slightly, but doesn't seem like it has a whole lot. And honestly, even slowing down in this race is certainly going a million miles an hour. We're on board with Ben Laughter looking up ahead at Mudrack now, and they've got a lot of traffic in front of them. That's going to be Phil Lake, who sits in third in class. They're able to weave their way past him, and Ben Laughter takes a little bit of a poke, can't quite get in there. This is Ferreira, who is recovering after he had to come in and get some damage repaired. He's trying to stay out of the way. He's a lapped car. It's not for position. So they now fly through Ravazza. Tomas trying to stay out of the way of these two, but he hasn't pulled completely aside quite yet. Mudrack not minding it too much, I don't think, because he's getting a nice little slipstream, and now he's going to be able to get by. There's the early braking from Tomas. Lets one through, but not two, and poor Ben Laughter is going to have to sit patiently behind through the Tamburello chicane. Down to 8 minutes left on the clock. If survival was of interest to you and you're a driver out there, there's not too much more that you have to withstand to get to the checkered flag, but that's not saying a whole lot. Still a good 6 laps probably. The drivers have to try and survive. Jungbluth pulling away from Mudrack just a little bit here. So we check in on our GTOs. This is the battle between Ole, Olmo, and Saul. This is for 8th. And off the inside, I thought Olmo maybe had a poor exit. Looks like it wasn't stellar, but Saul isn't able to try and capitalize as they come up to Piratella. Sits behind.
Yeah, I think his best opportunity might be on the exit of the chicane if he can get a good exit, but at the moment all three of these guys seem to be evenly matched pace wise. So, but heading up to the chicane, it looks like Ollie might be under attack from Olmo heading up to the chicane, but Olmo decides against it, and they might be waiting until after the chicane if he can get a great run to try and make the move. And it looks like he's getting a little bit closer in the slipstream.
Sometimes you can see passes down into Ravazza. It depends on how brave he feels. Not brave enough. He's not even going to show his nose, but he'll get another big toe down the front stretch once again, much tighter to the apex. Almost looked like that balked him, though, coming off the turn. And in fact, Javier, yes, he is very closely followed by Fabio Saul, who might have a good shot at overtaking. They're all going to reel into the back of our 8th place driver. And down to the inside, he's got a good chance. Javier Del Olmo. Oh, a little bit of touch of the grass. Mark somehow saves it, but he loses both spots.
Oh, what's with the I was just about to say, what's with the rejoin? That was so unfortunate. He clipped the grass on the outside into turn 1, and unfortunately it just got sideways. But with that 4-wheel drive, it's pretty much easy to save it.
Yep, just put his foot to the floor, throttled it up, and eventually the car starts to go in that direction. Thankfully, he had plenty of runoff to try and keep it from hitting the wall. 6 minutes left now, and we're still not out of the woods. Looking to see if we have any battles after that one, because that kind of robbed us of our closest. Coming off the corner, this is Sintes Galindo being chased by Esposito. They're going to go past the lapped car of Marco Lay and out of the Alta chicane. Ahead of them, they've also got Saul and Del Olmo still locked in a fight themselves, so they probably won't want to give up too much time. Just had an off for Robert Plumley here, it looks like. Not sure what caused it, but it at least looks like his car is not in too bad of shape. Well, the podium positions have not been all that tense except for a few brief moments. You can see Gal has not found his pace wanting after the contact he made with Don Peak, and is back up to about 13 seconds ahead of Antti Lepisto. Lepisto and Iamaki separated by 2 seconds roughly currently. There you see giving chase between that pair. About as close as we're going to get amongst the front runners. Everybody else has all spread apart. And then this is the number 4 of Yuko Leskala, 8.7 seconds back to Vili Rola currently. Oh, somebody off track, Esposito. Did we have another issue with Aqua Minerale? We did indeed. Touch the AstroTurf on the exit this time, though, and that's what spun him off, losing a spot to Leonardo down to P16, unfortunately. And this car behind him is 3rd place. That's Ardo Iamaki. Down to the final 3 minutes, and with drivers doing about a minute and a half. Looks like Gal just crossed not long ago, so 3 laps to go, it appears. Watching the battle between Del Olmo and Saul, which has not gone away. Javier with a scant 0.3 of a second ahead of Fabio Saul. Both of them sliding it out of Villeneuve before they get separated by Antti Lepisto. Lepisto's caught up a little bit, down about 12 seconds, but that's pretty much too little too late.
Yeah, pretty much. I think he just just ran out of time, and unfortunately it's been a commanding drive from Gal, but I think once the traffic kicked in, it just gave him a chance to pull away and build up that gap, and he just never looked back. But still, this battle and the GTO is still going on at the moment between these two, and they've been separated just a little bit by the GTP traffic coming through, but at the moment, it looks like Olmo is just managed to pull away ever so slightly and just build a bit of a gap.
Incredibly, we still have 44 drivers running out there on the track. So we've only lost one more since we last looked. 2 to go now. Oh, have we lost another? What's going on with Scurry here?
I wonder if he's blew his engine or if he's ran out of fuel.
This is very early if he's ran out of fuel. I'm not seeing a blown engine from him.
Oh, no. Oh, well, I thought it was going to be a big accident.
This is very, very strange. He's stuck in neutral, it seems, because he's revving the engine, so he's still got the engine at least. He's not out of fuel. He's not popped the motor, but now he's trying to back up. We'll have to ask him. The Italian at one of his home tracks is got one of the strangest issues we've ever seen. And that word strange has popped up a lot today in Kamel GT. But a weird start to 2022 for this series as Gal continues to lead the way in the number 1. Trying to think the last time we saw Alex come in and race in the series, because it's certainly been a minute. And upon his return, he has not missed a trick. He's coming across for the white flag. 1 to go for Alex Gal. Still got to wait for the white flag for Yuko Leskala, who's just now coming around Tosa. In fact, it might be tight on whether or not Alex gets passed by our overall leader. There you see him through Piratella now, just as Gal comes through Villeneuve. Well, Alex Gal managed to put it on pole. And from there, despite being challenged a bit because of the traffic, he's navigated it much more successfully. He's put some distance between himself and his rivals. And by the end of the race, it's looking like it's going to be in the range of about 12 seconds that he did put between himself and his competitors. Into Alta for the final time. Just ahead of him, it's Martiali. And he's not going to catch Leskala, who's just coming across right now for his white flag. But our overall leader, our GTP leader, is through Ravazza 1 and through Ravazza 2. And onto the front stretch. He is clean sailing from here for a victory for Alex Gal in Season 1 of 2022 for the Kamel GT Series. Looks like Laughter might actually beat Gabbiani, as he wound up ahead of him, but not ahead of Joseph Mudrat from earlier on. What about Yuko Leskala? Looks like he's still got a good bit of lap to go. That's Oren Laskin in front of him. And I think just a handful of cars, yeah, just about 4 cars behind him, one of which is a GTP. Otherwise, he's going to be among our last drivers on the lead lap. Don't think. Oh, Rolla is on the same lap, so Rolla could still take this lead away if we get an issue for Yuko. That seems highly unlikely, if I'm honest. He's usually such a cool, calm, collected driver, and he's looking like he'll prove me right here as he comes out of the final turn. Yuko Leskala will take another win, his second of the season here in Kamel GT, here in Italy. And that is going to take us to a quick break. We'll come back with the official results as well as driver interviews, so stick around.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to Imola. We just watched round 3 in the Kamel GT series with some celebration from Yuko Leskala after taking win number 2. Alex Gal, finished in the lead though overall with the victory in the prototypes, with Ante Lepisto finishing second. Ardo Iamaki could not make it a three-peat to kick things off. He finished third. Matthias Hovdal, P4 for him, was followed by Fabian Niebluth in 5th and Joseph Mudrack in 6th, up from 19th with his failure to qualify. Ben Lafter, P7, followed by Gianluca Gabbiani in 8th and Farron Grau in 9th. You've got Robert Plumley rounding out the top 10. Then Lau Stolson not having the day he was looking for, 11th place. Unai Lamas went from 21st to 12th, mirroring his grid spot there, as Antonio Rice was in 13th, the last driver on the lead lap. Heitor Sintes Galindo was 14th. Leonardo Bao was 15th, and Mark Torres Esposito, with a number of offs today, wound up 16th. Isaac Snyder, with a webcam problem that certainly confused us for a moment, finished 17th, as Cam Porter was 18th. Martin Krejcik was 19th, and Donald Peak was the last of the finishers in the GTPs in 20th. Ryan?
Yep, taking the win in the GTO class was Yuko Leskala, with Valerola finishing in second, with Philip Lake rounding out the podium in third. And then fourth place was Ian Haycox, with fifth going to Jamie Hamill-Smith, sixth going to Javier Del Olmo. And then Fabio Sal, Mark Ollie, Devin Donaghy, Harry Weir, Hideki Koivisto, Thomas Bartfai, Mika Chupa, Oren Laskin, Esco Letiniemi, Franco Scuri, Pablo Loves, Marty Ollie, Israel Alonso, and the retirements from the race was Carlos Fonseca, Marco Chiala, and Andre Schumacher.
Looks like we've got our winner actually just joining us now. So Alex Gal popping in here just in the last moments. So let's take a chance to try and talk to the number 1 rated driver to see what he thought of today's race. And Alex, congratulations on your return. A victory on the first race, broadcast race back since we've not seen you in a while. And looks like you haven't missed anything, but man, it looked like the traffic was a nightmare out there. How'd it feel?
Hey guys, yeah, that was quite a difficult race. It's been a while I didn't drive this car in this series, so I wasn't expecting the nicest result possible. But it turned out well. I know I have pace on this track, but I couldn't make any race this week to even prepare for the multiclass, since in Kamel I was usually doing 2 or 3 races before the broadcast race. But I guess I was quite lucky, because it was all going quite tight until lap 7, where we were all very lucky, but Matthias kind of got jumped in an Audi in the Aquaminari.
Well, we were watching closely, and we did see that a car spun in front of you. Did you experience any effects from that? Did you get any damage that hurt your speed?
Yeah, Cameron spun in front of me, and I had a little bit of damage. It wasn't really visible, but I could see I had like 0.2 of top speed damage in the main straight. But I I had a decent lead already, so I knew it was fine, and I had probably more experience than the other two Finnish drivers. So I think I was just able to just keep it in front and just be safe enough to finish the race, because at that point it was just about finishing, since I knew I had the lead already.
Well, congratulations on that. Will we see you again? Because next one's going to be a doozy with the Nürburgring's 24-hour layout.
I don't know if you'll see me a lot this season. I might do races like Motorgate and whatnot, where I already have experience, but depending on my schedule and everything, I know I cannot do next week, but I might do 2 or 3 more races this season. We'll see.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for you. Clearly, you haven't lost a lick of speed, and congratulations once again, sir.
Goodbye, guys.
That was Alex Gal, our winner in the GTPs. It looks like we've got third place in the GTOs, ready to talk to Ryan. Phil Lake, who was not immune to problems, but at least brought it home.
Absolutely. Yeah, Phil finishing on the podium, and they had a great race. And yeah, like Joe mentions, Phil, you had some issues during the race, but still you managed to still keep it clean in a way and make it to the finish and finish in third place. But from where we were watching, it looked like that was absolutely hectic with what was it, 50 something cars on track.
Yeah, most of my issues are actually before the traffic got to us. So I mean, other than the start, which was just a complete mess. I haven't looked at it yet, but somebody in a GTP was stopped in the middle of the track as like the whole Audi field was heading towards them. So that wasn't great. Yeah, and then I got to slow down early, so that was why I dropped back to 6th or 7th and had to work my way back through. I think I might have had the pace to at least stay with Vil. I didn't have anything for Yuko today, so yeah, it was a good race overall.
Yeah, we saw at times as well that you were involved in some great battles as well, and you were involved at one point in a battle with Ian Haycox and someone else that I can't remember, but still you got it to the finish and finished in third. And looking ahead to the Nürburgring next week, it's the Nordschleife section as well that's being used. So any expectations heading into that round?
Low expectations. I'm one of the few people that doesn't particularly like the Nordschleife, so yeah, I'm not expecting to do very well. Maybe a top 5 would be a solid result, I think, next week.
Good stuff. And lastly, before we let you go, Phil, anyone that you want to give a shout out or thank you to?
Yeah, just thanks to all my teammates and thanks to you guys.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on third place in the GTO class, Phil, and look forward to seeing you on track next week at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Thanks,
Ron.
That was Phil Lake, third place here in the GTO class. And we've got our 7th place finisher, Ben Laughter, coming up next. And Ben, thanks for the views today. Definitely gave us some excitement out there on track. But, well, how did it feel in that VR headset today? Because, man, there was a lot of drivers to try and navigate your way through.
It was hot. It's just constant sweat. It's a very active physical racetrack in this series with 50 cars. It was, once we reached the traffic, it was a conveyor belt. So it was just hot, sweaty work, but good fun. I felt like it went pretty well today.
Yeah, you managed to get yourself up from 13th. Were you struggling a bit in qualifying, or is this just a case of you kind of took advantage of so many drivers having issues out on track?
I think it's a case of not enough practice. I didn't give myself enough practice for this race. I only got started at it about 2 hours before the race. And so I only did 2 quali runs. And, frankly, I'm just not top tier in the Nissan. And so, I knew that I would be a 29-ish. And I was really amazed by some of those 27s. I don't know how you do that. That's crazy. But good on those guys for being fast.
Certainly, I'm sure a lot of tips to try and poke the brains of a few of your rivals about. But heading off to the Nürburgring, it has been a tough start to the season with the selection of tracks. Are you looking forward to the ring, or is that one where you're just kind of anxious?
So in the Audi, I love going to the ring. That said, in the Audi, I don't think I've ever finished a race at the ring. I always get caught up in something. I've never tried it in the Nissan before, so it's going to be a very new experience for me. And we'll just, I'll put in a lot of practice for this. I know the ring like the back of my hand, but I don't know it in this car. So I'll have to put in quite a bit of work this week to be competitive there. But you know, if you can line up the right corners, it's not a hard track to drive. You just have to remember where you're at and not daydream.
Yeah, really. Well, buckle down and we'll keep an eye out for you. And congratulations on the top 10.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you as always.
Has been Laughter, 7th in the GTPs. One more that we're going to talk to real quick. Didn't get to see a whole lot of them in the race itself, but it looks like Ryan has caught up with 11th place finisher Laust Olsen.
Yeah, Laus having a great race as well, and it looked like you were caught up in the mayhem at times, Laus, but still you managed to come home with a decent result as well, and they finish in the 11th place.
Yeah, it was not quite the race I dreamed of, and big apologies to Thomas. I think I ruined his race. I couldn't stand the pressure, to be honest, and locked my front wheels and drove wide in second last corner, and then I lost the rear and spun in front of him. From then on, my car had some damage. It was actually driving okay, but I were down on top speed, so the rest was just damage limitation. But I wasn't quite on speed this week either, so this track I haven't quite figured it out yet. So
yeah, Imola seems to be one of those tracks that it's kind of some drivers seem to gel with it, other drivers don't seem to gel as well with it. Does the track suit your driving style, or is it one of those tracks that you prefer not to, how can I say, race around too much?
I actually like the track, except for the chicane on the backstretch. But for some reason, I cannot drive as fast as compared to the others as I normally can. So I'm not quite sure what's actually behind it. But I guess my driving style isn't quite suited to it, or just not using the car efficiently enough.
And then looking ahead to next week as well, we head to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Are you planning to race, or is that going to be a race that you're maybe missing?
No, I'm definitely going to race. It's also one of the great tracks. Quite difficult. I'm not that good at keeping in on track for all laps, but I will do my best. And hope not to make too many mistakes. It's quite unforgiving if you make mistakes, so requires respect.
And then lastly, before we let you go, Laus, anyone that you want to give a thank you to?
Just wish you all you and the viewers and the community a happy new year, and hope for some good racing in 2022.
Great stuff, and the same to you, Laus. Hope we wish you a happy 2022, and hopefully, SimRacing gives you what you want this year.
Yeah, thank you.
As that was Laus Olsen, 11th place finisher, joining us, and I believe that's about it, Joe.
It is, and that's going to close us out with a big thank you, of course, to the Kamel GT community for bringing us back for another season of coverage. Also, we want to thank the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. And additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. Check out her Bandcamp for more awesome work. Thanks to the team today, Ryan, Zach, and Dougie. You can find more info about GSRC at globalsimracingchannel.com or through our social media listed here. Also, please check out our merchandise store at simracingmerch.com/GSRC. We keep a link in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a moment. Next race, as we mentioned, off to the Nürburgring, the full deal, the Nürburgring 24-hour layout. That'll be Saturday, January 8th at noon Eastern. But we have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out, mark them down on your calendar. And until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.